website?
Thereby hangs a bit of a tale at the moment. We've got a website, but we've got a few technical problems at the moment which we aim to resolve within the next...
Basically, we can't afford to pay.
But so any free publicity we can get is wonderful. And that we will resolve that problem very shortly, and normal service will be resumed.
And if people want to get hold of your CD, how can they get onto the website?
They could email me. Yes, I'm Alan Courtney at tiscali.co.uk, or I'm 07967 460 964, and basically, all you got to do is ask.
Come to a gig.
Yeah, aren't they on sale in the bookshop in Malvern?
No, Vital Sparkle, I don't think this
I thought she took some of ours. Helen, last.
But we are at the Music Fest on Saturday the 31st.
Are you now?
Where are you playing?
We're in St Swithin's Hall.
Oh,
John Taylor.
John Taylor's organising it.
They've got some great acts in there. Yeah.
Including us.
Not for Sunday.
Saturday the 31st.
Right, okay.
Yeah, unfortunately I can't make that one.
Yeah, well, we've got one of our different lineups again. It's Jackie and herself and Dave, the accordion player.
Right.
It's a bit of a squad, really.
Yeah.
However, if I could put a plug in for later in the evening, Hackleback are playing at the Lamb and Flag.
I'm going to be there.
See you then.
Lamb and Flag,
Mayhem is guaranteed.
Oh, I went and saw them at Chestnut, That was corking when I remember about it.
That chap I told you about the other story about coming around and say you got a gig, that was Colin Robinson, who was the landlord.
Oh, right.
Yeah, we've known
He's
each
a
other.
superb trombone player.
Yeah, we've known each other since we were about 11, I think.
Yeah.
I signed him up in the Hodges Jump when he must have been about 17.
Really?
Because we wanted a tuba player.
Yeah.
And he said, I can do that, And he was a nice lad till then, till he met us.
Till he met you, that's where he went all wrong, is it?
Yeah, he was training to be an accountant in a,
Really?
in a
He
suit.
led him astray.
He didn't take much leading.
What are your influences then, apart from drink?
Musical? Well, Bob Dylan is, in my case, I think, would be the great hero. There's a fellow called Steve Knight who plays with Charlotte Hands, who really
Yeah, they're amazing.
Excellent. Martin Kelly's a fantastic guitarist. And Martin Silson as well. So, that'll do for starters.
Yeah, that sounds
Like
good.
it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I don't know really. Fiddle players. I mean, one of my favourites, though I don't really sort of play this sort of stuff, is Martin Hayes, the Irish fiddle player. He had the wonderful idea of slowing Irish music down a bit, so that you could hear how nice the tunes were.
Yeah.
I like the sort of American fiddle music, the old-timey sort of bluegrass stuff, and yes, one or two English players, people like Chris Wood. Yes.
Nick, go on, tell us him again.
Well,
I can't remember from last time.
Tonight, David, I'm playing my proper instrument.
You're
which
playing
is
the bass. This is your number one instrument?
This is my number one instrument.
Yeah.
And basically, a lot of my influences, bass players wise, people like, I suppose, Dave Pegg's the obvious one. He made the connection between rock and the...
You're going to see him at St Swithin's, he's playing, isn't he?
I'd love to, but unfortunately I can't. I'm busy.
Yeah.
But Dave Pegg, obviously, I mean, a lot of the great rock bass players, John Entwistle, obviously, Stanley Clarke, Jack Pastor, the usual roll call. I mean, just generally, I mean, the thing that I really love about this instrument is that it's the connection between the rhythm and the bass, rhythm and the tune. So I just love it. I can't really sort of freak out too much at this particular juncture, though, because I'm still actually learning a lot of the stuff that we've been doing tonight.
Really?
So I'm just
one day you'll freak out.
I'll make it.
It's his moment.
I do have one moment. Yeah.
Jackie, influences?
I don't know. I just like music.
Yeah.
With proper tunes.
Yeah.
I like all sorts of things.
Yeah.
I don't know. I couldn't say so-and-so's influenced me.
You don't like sounding like other people, do you?
No,
No, that's a good thing.
I mean, there's always Norman Waterston, but which you get compared to a lot.
I wouldn't say
But
I
you
tried
don't
to
try.
emulate her though. No, I don't
No.
think so. No, no, I don't know.
Right, okay.
I forgot Danny Thompson.
Eh?
I forgot Danny Thompson.
Stately.
Yes.
Dream bigger.
So someone listening to this tonight, any advice you would give them if they think of like starting in a band?
Don't ever relapse. Just keep on taking the pills.
Yeah.
You do.
Don't start.
Yeah. No, just
Yeah.
if you find an instrument you love, just pick it up and don't put it down.
Yeah.
And it's 10% inspiration, as they say. So
Yeah.
you've got to practice and
And
practice and practice.
also, you've got to know the rules before you break them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you've got to actually know that if you're actually playing a particular chord, if it's going to work or not before you actually play it. So I mean, do some study.
Yeah. Do you guys get the practice then? Because
Very rarely with
Yeah.
me, because obviously the
Yeah.
business involved. But
Us three,
We
well,
three
we,
do.
yeah,
we wouldn't really call it practice. We tried to play together every Thursday night.
Mm.
yeah,
We did for years and years and years, play every Thursday night in the Star
yeah,
in Cowley Road in Malvern.
right.
But we never used to encourage anybody to come and listen, did we?
Yeah, it was a very small room.
It was the smoke room, yeah.
Yeah.
And,
You don't use open mics or anything to practice sometimes, and
We do?
Occasionally,
Yes.
we have
yeah.
to the Morgan.
yeah, to
Yeah.
try them out. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And,
Yeah, we like going
West-
there,
West
don't we?
Malvern,
Yeah.
there's a-
Yeah.
there's a-
we don't really practice too well, or we don't really arrange anything, you know, it's different every time we play everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Different mistakes every time.
Do you all prefer a band than being solo then?
It's different things for different times.
Yeah.
I think it's difficult to get the same buzz from entirely from solo.
Yeah.
But I've played solo for 25 years before John caught up with me.
Yeah, if you do solo things, it means you've got to drive yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get paid more.
Yeah.
Well, there is that, yeah.
That's true.
I mean, I've always just been happy being a side band.
Yeah.
I haven't really got a strong voice to actually sing songs, so I'm quite happy lurking away in the background.
Yeah.
And I've done solo gigs and stuff like that, but I've never felt that I would have gone to see me, so I'm quite happy to actually play with people who know what they're doing. And that's the way I think it will always be.
What's the best thing about being a performer?
Oh, you get a buzz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You really do. I mean, you can be quite apprehensive in advance. It depends.
Yeah.
Depends on your mood and all sorts. But or if it feels a bit insecure for some reason when you're doing it. But afterwards you feel brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when people come up and say how great you were.
Yeah.
What a lovely voice you've got.
But there is that bit sometimes, it only ever happens occasionally, where everything is right.
Yes.
Everything's where it should be, and then the music actually takes over by itself. It's hard to explain.
Yeah.
It only ever happens a few times.
Yeah.
But you realise suddenly that you're coming to the end of something and you have no recollection of how you got there.
Yeah.
You know, and it's nothing to do with the beer.
No.
You know, it's just a transcendental experience. You know.
Most people call it being in the zone, don't they?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very much like that.
Is there a worse thing about being a performer?
Packing a kit up in the middle of the night and having to drive 5 drunken people 150 miles back home. That's not much fun. I think just that sometimes that you get very inconsiderate people who just sort of want to, sort of like obviously talk much louder when you're trying to sing and things like that. But that's pretty rare.
Yeah.
There's something cultural about this country when it comes to musicians. Everybody loves listening to music.
Yeah.
But I remember when I was a very young musician and I was coming home on the train and there was this old gentleman there. He said, "What do you do, son?" He said, "Oh, I'm a musician." I said, "But what do you do for a living?" Whereas I lived in Germany for 3 years, where you were treated with a lot of respect.
Yeah.
You know, it's something cultural in this country that it's a great thing to be part of. But all of us have had to sort of find a sort of more conventional way of making a living.
Yeah. Can you imagine life without music?
No.
No.
What's the point?
Exactly. Exactly.
Mind you, when I hear some of the stuff that my teenagers listen to,
But that's not music, which is what I meant when I said I like it with a tune.
You'd have been loved it up here last week then.
no, don't get me wrong, I think some of the DJ stuff is really creative. It's just the music business is in heaven because they found a formula that works all the time, and basically you just get the same thing sound like the same thing, which is probably what my parents said about the music I liked. So I think
More like it just goes round and round, isn't it?
Mm.
Yeah.
But there will only be one Jimi Hendrix.
In Handel's house.
Yes. You know, in London you have the houses have big blue plaques saying famous people who lived there.
Yeah.
But there's only one house that has got two.
Right.
And one of them is Jimi Hendrix lived here in the 1960s and whatever.
Yeah.
So and so. And the other one is George Frederick Handel lived
Whoa.
there as well.
Same house. Wow.
Yeah, different. You know, he was there before.
Yeah. At the same time, though,
And you know, there's great similarities between the two, really. I mean, they were both foreigners who came to live in London.
Didn't you used to share a house with Roy Harper at one stage in the 60s?
What, Handel, did he?
No.
Me?
Yeah.
No, I had a friend or a colleague at work who lived opposite Roy Harper.
Oh, right.
Yeah, Roy Harper with his. Look, Roy Harper used to come around and see us a lot. This was in London in the 60s, and Roy Harper had a Bentley with L plates.
He never actually learned to drive.
Yeah. It must have been brilliant living in London in the 60s.
I was there right through it, the swinging 60s.
Yeah.
Right in the middle of it.
Wow.
And he's still alive.
Yeah.
I spent a weekend with Yoko Ono.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Tell us more.
Well, we were playing in a jazz
Can't
band.
you? Oh, right.
Playing jazz in those
Yeah.
days, and we were playing in this White Hart in Drury Lane.
Yeah.
And this we used to play there Friday nights and Saturday nights. And this little Japanese woman came and sat right in front of us all night. She just sat there looking at us. And at the end, myself and the drummer, we got in his car, and she just climbed in as well, and came back to my flat down in Shepherd's Bush. She never said a word. Following morning, we had to go and play in a New Orleans marching band for a carnival. Oh, that was in the afternoon. She came along to that, hung around with us. Came back up the White Hart the following Saturday night. Sat in front of us, never said a word. Came back to the flat with us, never said a word. On Sunday, she gave us 2 complimentary tickets for her Bottoms film.
Well, right.
You know about the Bottoms film? It was one of her films she made, and it was just bums
Yes.
for an hour and a half walking on a turntable. And we went to it actually, and we sat all the way through it, which is more than most of the audience did. So that was the Yoko Ono, yeah.
Well. Right, how can we follow that? Another song, I think.
What's this?
Hard Times.
Oh, Hard Times. Yes, this is an old song. This is Stephen Foster, who wrote in the sort of Victorian times, American songwriter. He wrote lots of famous songs like Way Down Upon the Swanee River and The Sun Shines Bright on My Old Kentucky Home. They're basically good jolly songs about the slaves on the plantations, you know. Anyway, this is another one of his, not so well known, and it's called Hard Times, Come Again No More.